animals. So basically, I was somebody forwarded me a survey on trans healthcare type of things, and frickin' basically it's all about what the hell you want your doctor to frickin' switch your pronouns to another doctor, some sort of crap like that. Basically, I saw this and I thought, well, frick, this is literally content. They write this stuff themselves. And if you guys got no frickin' clue why the hell I'm talking about this, basically the reason that I make so many videos about covering up my hairline and whatnot, and wigs and whatnot, and and all that stuff I barely even freaking have dropped yet. Basically, it's because I am transgender. I was born female, and yeah. So if you didn't know, that gives you a mark of losing your freaking hairline or some part of it by 2/3. I was never taught that in my life, not by anybody on the damn internet. I thought it was just kids being paranoid because no one freaking told me. No one told me at the damn at the any gay people places that I went to. Nobody, no doctor told me. Nobody, nothing. They basically just run you through all the freaking circumstances that you could have from your. They got I don't know, maybe 5, 10 things that could happen to you on the consent sheet thing that you're supposed to sign. Which, by the way, minors can sign. Freaking disgusting. F that. That's bad. It's just the state of the healthcare things and the freaking all this is just so bad. It's not as bad. We have a better healthcare system than in other countries, but when it comes to things being skewed by wokeness and this freaking put the damn patient first over the doctors and over the people that have made the studies and whatnot, it honestly disgusts me because it's not right. You don't see any country that prospers doing this sort of thing. This is not this is not what a first world country should be made of, because that brings us freaking all the way back down. That it is something that will morally and societally bankrupt, and possibly even fricking monetarily. It has to do with fricking what the taxpayers are paying for. I don't exactly know how the hell the surgeries work, whether a person pays for that out of pocket or whether that's government money, but whatever. Let's get into the fricking survey. um this is done by Trans Focus Consulting Incorporated. I've never freaking heard of them before, but I've never done a survey like this before. And yeah, the survey is about the damn. Yeah, they say it's health information switching to frickin' other doctors and whatnot, which is defined as the following: first name used on a daily basis, pronouns, legal first name, legal sex, sex assigned at birth, gender identity, sexual orientation, current sex characteristics of your body, current medications, and our surgical history. Now, I don't know why the hell they got a space to write pronouns, because here's the thing that the frickin' woke people don't teach you about pronouns. A pronoun, it's it's a word. It was originally a frickin' word to describe things around you without using its name. I can call this duct tape, but I can also call it, as I just already frickin' said. And yeah, so with a person, you know, you refer to him as Greg, and you refer to Greg as him. That's pretty much it. And the thing about the pronoun is you decide what you think somebody or something is. You know, a pronoun is used to describe another person. A person doesn't describe themselves with a pronoun, or else you're speaking in third person, like a narcissist. And and the whole freaking problem with that's basically, it gives a person, an entire freaking excuse to not dress right, to not act right at all. Here's the thing about, being a man, and I've freaking been a man since, you could say 2016 or you could say 2019. It depends on what the hell you think a man is, basically, if you have to have transition or not. And um yeah, I being a man takes work. Being a man takes actual effort. It's just like being a woman. You know, the majority of the time, you know, people expect, what the woke call gender roles, which are really just, typical things that are assigned to a certain thing. I mean, a cat has ears and fur and a tail and it meows. It's a cat, right? If it walks and quacks like a duck and whatnot. And so these sorts of things, people expect certain things of men and women, and I really shouldn't have to spell that out for anybody. And, even in trans spaces, people can hardly make, any note of what the hell they think people expect of men and women. You see a whole lot of stereotypes put towards trans guys that have to do with the most mundane, stupid things. I've heard, tons of, all these passing tips sort of things, and none of these are really tips because they're made by 14-year-olds. It When I was younger, I used to think that that was done uh, by people that were the age I am now. Yeah, I got on this stuff when I was 14. I was originally on Tumblr at 13 years old, and then I frickin' continued until I was about, I don't know, 17, 18, because I just got tired of it. It's just all this scrolling BS, and none of these people leave their houses, so I don't really, they don't have much to teach me at all. Unless it's things to do with programming or whatever, which, I couldn't care to frickin' learn anyway. But yeah, so the tips for trans guys in terms of passing back in 2014, it was all these lists, right? And people would make fricking collages of it and whatnot. And there was things about how to cross your legs wrong. Now tell me, am I crossing my legs wrong when I do this? Because those look like some damn normal cross legs right there. My dad crosses his legs like that. Everybody I frickin' know crosses their legs like that. Now, let me show you how the hell they want you to cross your legs when you're frickin', trans. They want you to do it like this. Does that look comfortable? Does that look good on your knees? Well, I can tell you firsthand that no, the hell it doesn't. Uh, Hold up, I gotta get a charger. This is what happens when you do a couple shots before the damn YouTube live. You forget your damn charger. And this is also what happens when somebody buys you a phone battery for Christmas and you forget to fricking ask that homie to help you to fix it. Shout out to Jags because that was a very gangster move. Bro knew exactly what the hell. I was like, yeah, I want that. Yeah, so freaking anyways. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of misinformation given around online about trans stuff. And the thing about the online stuff is that eventually, if there's enough of it and it goes on for frickin' long enough, it goes into the real life, which is it's just kind of depressing because these people that post so much online, people say vocal minority, and that is 100% true. These people are always a freaking minority because the main people that are trans guys you wouldn't freaking know. And I'm not going to tell you how the hell to find out if somebody's trans or not because, that's an effed up thing to do. And if you ask around, nobody's going to freaking tell you, man. But anyway, uh, yeah, the majority of trans guys you wouldn't freaking know, and oftentimes that's the way that people want to be. It was even Gigi Gorgeous herself, the frickin' original YouTube trans woman that nobody fricking remembers for whatever damn reason, even though she made so much ground on this, on the whole trans subject. You know, she said one time many years ago that she doesn't, engage in activism and frickin' write about trans stuff and talk about it on her channel because once a person transitions, they stop being viewed as trans, so they don't have to see the whole trans thing as a freaking issue. And a person at some point ceases to be, in essence, trans as their whole freaking personhood, and they just become a person, you know? She transitioned, and nobody is freaking coming up to her like, "What are your pronouns? What freaking section do you want to shop in or whatever?" They just see her and they're like, "Yeah, that's a woman." 5 years before that, they would have said, "Oh, do you need a little help finding your frickin', way around this place? What you trying to find, right?" Because at one point she was just, appearing as a guy in makeup and whatnot. And yeah, with most trans people, trust me, they are not all like the frickin' woke people you see. Most trans people are like frickin' Blair White, Buck Angel, Marcus, etc. But, all generally less angry because they're most are not involved in politics. But the thing is, the sad thing is that when you go to an LGBT group, they don't end up the ones that frickin' aren't involved in the woke stuff and the activism, aka not leaving the house and calling it active, and fricking, picketing about issues you barely understand with vague signs. And I've been there. I made a video on it actually earlier this year. Anyway, these people, they start to feed into real life, right? Because they're surveying the people out of these frickin' groups, and the people out of these groups that stick around, they are involved with the whole activism and frickin', the mental health supports and frickin' whatnot. All these things to do with being, what the internet perceives as trans, but the majority of trans people don't frickin' talk about being trans. So, it's a whole lot different of a situation than people thought it was. Trans people are such a small number that we are only just starting to catch up on the whole, trans community impact on society as a whole. And trans people frickin' tend to be, it's 0.3% of the population. Let me just give you that one, because that's the truth. That's what they found. 0.3% of a population. So frickin' find thousands of people, and a couple of them will be trans. But those aren't the numbers that we're seeing now. I've heard people, in middle school talk about that. 70% of their class is frickin' trans, and I don't know what the hell kind of class that is. That seems blown out of proportion. That's got to be an art class or theater or something, because that's just not realistic. But when they survey the people of these groups that come in droves, and they bring their friends, and they tell their friends that it's great to frickin', fake a third gender, which, was never what being trans was about. It's about transitioning, you know, it's about frickin' blue to pink, pink to blue, right? What the hell is in the middle there? Usually white. Why do we choose white? Because it frickin' makes sense. It's nothing. In the middle, the center of androgyny that people like to talk about so freaking much now. This idea that there's a third gender, that that there can be some sort of essence within the mind or the soul or fricking whatever of this third gender that hasn't fricking existed until 1999, was never, written about. And I'm not even talking in fricking whitey culture. Here's the thing. Here's the fricking thing that no one wants to tell you about. They tell you every other culture has this non-binary, but they don't. it's usually a role. It's societal. It's freaking, a man will grow up and he'll be the dancer. He'll play the woman's role. I don't remember which culture that is, but he plays the woman's role in the dance and the woman's role in life. So he's kind of just like a cross-dressing gay guy. But he doesn't transition to woman. He's just a man, And they try to call that non-binary, but it's not. The center of androgyny for every culture, and especially whitey culture, that's been documented for so many frickin', you could say decades or millennia. The person who becomes androgynous, they never let go fully of their birth gender. They fricking start at one end and they get, it's purely a fricking. If I could pull up the damn genderbread person, I would show you its sex, which stays fixed because the androgynous person typically does not change the sex or get any surgery as people are doing now, and they don't change anything at all. They make sure that they are happy about their body as a person and frickin' whatnot, and they change the second part of it, which is the state of dress. It becomes a cross dresser, right? The person, they transform themselves into a cross dresser, and that's how they live their life. But it's not about inconveniencing other people by making them use functional language that were never there before. It's not about, you know hurting people by yelling at, your family members that you're not using the right words to refer to you with. That you should be more, any person that's got, a couple fricking, bits of respect and frickin' brain cells or whatever the hell in them. They know that you're supposed to care about that your family is with you there first, and it's not about, it's not about this false sense of respect that they talk about anymore. It's about that they respect you and love you as a person, and you'll know that when you frickin' feel it, It's not a thing you can quantify, like spending fricking two days a week with your parents or whatever. But hell, I mean, anything is a good marker. You know if you are loved and appreciated. And when people are free to frickin' hug you and tell you that this thing you've done is great, I make things and people get to review it. They're like, hey, you spent frickin' 1 or 2 hours on that Photoshop, and yeah, it looks like what you were trying to do. So, showing people basic respect, you know, as a friend would to another friend, but on a deeper, more frickin' longitudinal frickin' level. That's what family is. It's about frickin' sticking together, 10 years down the line, not, being friends with someone for 3 frickin' years and then ghosting them. And while while somebody they deeply frickin' loved has just died, that's not, people frickin' talk all the damn time about respect as if it's such a shallow thing as complimenting another person's cross-dressing abilities, which is literally what frickin' a fake third gender is. It hurts, it hurts society as a whole when you're yelling at your grandmother, and that's what they want you to do. The woke people, they want to enrage you. It's literally the frickin' Gen Z version of the news. And I really wish that people would take me seriously when I tell them that. I tell people a lot of truths, and, you know, here's the thing, right? I hate to frickin' be one of those anti woke people and frickin' whatever the hell type of trans I am. I'm sure there's a word for this now. I don't frickin' know. But yeah, I hate to be one of those people that calls every fricking function of the current non-binary culture a narcissistic thing or whatever, because it's not. It's not about that a person wants to take and take and take from the world. It's that they're being told they need to take and take and take from the fricking world, and that, yelling at people is social currency. It's literally fricking. Greg gonna frickin' laugh at me when I say this, but it's literally Chinese, because that's literally how the frickin' social thing they're trying to do now works, right? The social currency, and the fact that that has slipped into Western language says a lot. Um, but yeah, you know, people people don't realize that behind this movement are a lot of scared children. It's a lot of people that have had various frickin' forms of horrible things happen to them that, none of us who haven't had that happen could even frickin' imagine. I mean, everybody's had a run in with a creep on the internet, but past that level, you just don't know what the hell that's like. And it seems to upset a person so deeply to their core that they grasp onto not just cult movements and not just frickin', being emo or goth or whatever, but they go on to a movement that seeks to not only change their identity but replace the pieces that they don't like about themselves. That mostly it's just that other people have told them that things to not like about themselves. You're a girl, you can't do this or that. You're a freaking guy, but you're not enough of a guy because you're too feminine or whatever. That's what I see from every freaking detransitioner. Even the ones that try to deny it and try to, people that don't really know, they go back and forth. I can't speak to that story because those are the frickin' few minority, and I feel like they just hide because they don't even adhere to the current detransition mantra, as it were. Yeah, but I want, this is the reason I want to talk about this, is because all these people that they want to talk about this and be so angry about it and say everybody's being a narcissist, but in reality you just have to teach damaged children that it's not their responsibility to completely change the world and to completely change themselves. I mean, frick, i I don't get why YouTubers these days are so angry about this sort of stuff, and that's why the hell I had to stop. I have to stop myself from watching it every freaking couple of weeks or whatever, because it just gets so angry. We're not meant to be angry at these people. We're meant to do something that is, almost pitying people, but without being a dick. I mean, that's, it's called compassion. And I know grifting and frickin' whatnot, but at some point grifting drifts into cancel culture, and we gotta frickin' figure that out. I'm not naming names or anything, but it's kind of everybody that does that. I gotta drink some damn water for a second. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, let's get on to the frickin' survey, basically. I don't know how the hell this is gonna work camera-wise, but let's just hope that this looks in any way decent. So, here it is, the frickin' first question, which took a while for me to even understand. Um, yeah, I had to read this 3 times over, and I was like, holy frick, I haven't even done a shot yet. I knew I was gonna live stream this by the time. I had looked at it and I was like, you know what, this is woke, this is weird, this is wrong. I'm gonna have to use this for content somehow. But yeah, I looked at this and I was like, frick, I got a pencil and tried to put it down in my own words so I could understand it. But yeah, it's basically, do you want to translate your frickin' whatever the hell to another doctor? And then they ask it in more, less broad questions. But you see this part here when they get into the meat of the issue. They're like, oh, frickin' here's your information, differences between this whole part here. The providers don't know what genderqueer and pansexual are. Should they? Should they really? What does that have to frickin' do with anything? I mean, when it comes to the sexual differences between the gay and straight people, that actually doesn't frickin' matter. In fact, fun fact, it's more woke to fricking not even have to write that down to begin with. I mean, That's in the pamphlets in these places that are meant to be woke and trans friendly and trans this and that and gay and whatnot. It's meant to be that the real true woke sort of thing is not using your freaking identity as whatever, as is done in the current couple of years back, but to describe a person as a man having, intercourse with another man and a woman frickin' doing whatever because people, despite their sexualities, they slip up, And I've known people to say, older people, to say that there were lesbians in the vicinity who would admit that every so often they dialed it frickin' back and basically just went, bisexual at times, just because there's nothing like the shape. But yeah, even I see in the pamphlets in the frickin' in the mental health places, they say stuff like, the pap smear is frickin' important no matter who you're with, which, and I'm shaking because of anxiety. It's not the liquor, I promise. It's cold as hell in this room, too. Frick. I don't show it, but I do get a lot of anxiety freaking filming stuff. And I can't stand the feeling. It is bad. But I have to do it because it makes me happy and it makes me prosperous, and prosperous, you know, freaking I forget when the hell Social Blade came up, but I was still a fan of, Onion Man, just to not get claimed by him or however the hell he does that. But you know, back when I became aware of Social Blade, I checked it and it was like you're gonna make $23 a year, and I checked that today. It says I could be making $20 a month. Do you know who did that? Was it really me or was it the animals? Was it the creatures wiggling their tongue that are not watching this video right now, but they will eventually? Frickin' that guy with the cars and the dumpster fire guy and frickin' the homie that was honestly kind of a dick to me and frickin' the person who I don't know. It's a lot of people that I do remember from years past that watch my channel, but yeah, thank you because I'm about to hit 400 subscribers. And when I do that, I promise I will release an on time Valentine's Day video. And that's freaking final, man. I am sick with, ramping up to a holiday and saying, oh man, it's gonna get done within the frickin', next couple of weeks, frickin' I'm always thinking that I can hit it off in the last minute. That's not how video editing and production and whatnot work. I overthink and I don't make the time, and it doesn't help. Yeah, hold up. I just gotta stretch for a freaking second here, then I can read the next part of it. It's just bad. It's hard to hold the camera like this. Yeah, so freaking even after they cover the sexuality part, which doesn't need to be there anyway. They do this part about the no pronoun field. Should there really be a pronoun field? What the hell is a pronoun field? Because I know they do that at the mental health providers, but when it comes to healthcare, you know, here's the thing. Yeah, I get it. It's bad if you come in there, you're broken and bleeding and whatnot. But if you're man enough, and if you're woman enough, even, it doesn't matter the frickin' gender. Just grow up and be a damn adult. Tell people your pronoun, and not buy a pin. I've seen so many people do the pin and they don't go out dressed like it. And you know what's gonna happen? People are gonna frickin' ignore that. And sometimes when people look at your damn clothes, it's not that they're looking directly at the damn pin. It's that they're frickin' zoning out. because whatever the hell they're doing, you know, it's usually people have things going on in their heads that are freaking way more important than something that you could verbally convey to another person. And I'm not trying to be a dick to anybody. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying generally, I never did that because I feared people would make fun of me. And guess what? They're doing it now. People are making fun of other people now. You know, and I'm not saying people should be an entire dick about it, but that's not a functional way to live your life. People barely even frickin' show their damn ethnicities and frickin' whatever the hell all this, even sexualities and whatnot. People don't display facts about themselves that you could learn by just asking. And you don't need to know anything about every person. So, anyway, uh, the health provider becomes confused, unsure, and asks a lot of questions. I mean, thing is, one or two questions, you should be comfortable with one or two questions being asked of you if your identity is so important to you. And I get that that requires a person to, think a whole lot about what's going on with, sometimes people don't really frickin' know yet and they're just trying things out and whatnot. But thing is, you have to try, you have to attempt something. It's kind of like a freaking bike trick. I've failed a whole lot of bike tricks because I never got to the speed, right? And I didn't trust myself. You have to get to the speed and you have to trust yourself, or else you're down in the dirt. But yeah, so I didn't know what the hell to do with this, but I just chose the least woke option, let's be honest, because I know the type of people that are going to do this survey. And yeah, this one is freaking about uh, timely and necessary care when it comes to freaking whatever the hell. The thing is, when it comes to your sexuality, not really something that needs to be all that timely or necessary. And the fact that the gender part, it matters when people are referring to me, and pretty much that only. It doesn't really. It's not something you need to write down, especially in the case where people are trying to, especially when they're sort of. I don't know. I'm probably in deep in terms of wrong things I've said in this video, but people that are trying it out but making a joke of it being whatever you want to put in there in this context. So I didn't understand this frickin' question either. Which of these health information are sensitive for you? I mean, we're not we're living in Canada, arguably the most woke country in the frickin' world. Even Sweden's dialed it down by this point because they actually, they're a happy country, and I'm not gonna get into all the reasons why, but yeah, so freaking sensitivity. I didn't know what the hell to put for that. I was just like, oh, okay. It doesn't matter my sensitivity to it if the doctor's not going to be a dick. It only matters freaking, when it comes down to this part right here. See, this is the relevance of the freaking of the things where you know things that are needed when patients interact with healthcare providers. So I wrote the ones that are freaking necessary because they are. And if you feel like this is the thing, right? People don't realize that this isn't what you feel like. This is about what you are required to tell them on the frickin' sheet, I suppose. When you walk into the mental health place that is in my area, you write your name, your frickin', when you're first signing up, name, occupation, year you were born, frickin', the things that have to do with your job and whatnot, whether you're a street frickin' sorts of sex worker, hobo type of thing or whatnot. And yeah, so I wrote down things that are not frickin' relevant because are we really wasting paper over this? Pronouns and sexual orientation. The thing is, to me, when it comes to even gynecological frickin' work, what's necessary is how often you're banging. How many people are you banging? Not frickin' what your sexuality is. I mean, I don't give a damn if somebody's a lesbian. That has nothing to do with your medical history. I'm not. And plus, when a person becomes bisexual, they're supposed to what? Phone their frickin' healthcare provider and the healthcare provider is supposed to take, 10 minutes up their day, pull up the damn file and write, nope, she's bisexual now, she changed her mind. Like, bruh, no, we're not doing that. What a waste of paperwork. And it's fine if a person changes their mind on their sexuality, but I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with the medical field. That's what they don't get. Frickin' here's the thing for blood work. Basically, what I think they should frickin' include for, to be necessary to do blood work. And the somewhat relevant is what I personally would just fricking be telling the person if it wasn't already written down on the sheets, because usually they just write beside your name, they do brackets, and they write the name you go by, which I don't know if they do that for nicknames, but they do it for trans people. And I've never had a person yet be a dick about it, but I'm not in the hospital. You'd have to ask a chronically ill person or an epileptic what they think about that. But these are just my frickin' opinions. I don't claim to speak for all fricking people like the woke want you to waste extra time. Um, yeah, so not relevant. These are just things that don't need to be on the sheet, don't need to be told. These are things you tell your therapist. Um, and obviously, what am I supposed to do here with these obviously medical things? What I'm supposed to say the treatments and frickin' whatnot are not relevant? Why is that an option? The doctors literally decide this stuff. That's what people don't get about it. Here we are with the part about the broken arm. You come in with a broken arm, and I wrote all the same freaking things, and I wrote these the sex of the freaking person. That's important in places where they're trying to freaking administer medication or whatever. And plus sometimes they don't even freaking do that right. I went to get my wisdom teeth taken out. I was 18 damn years old. 18. And I was freaking, I looked as, I do now. I was freaking thin. Always been freaking thin. Always, every freaking day of my life. You know what the guy gives me? I get out of that freaking place, and the guy gives me a damn opioid. He prescribes me the frickin' T3s. You know how I frickin' felt when I was prescribed to take two frickin' T3s at the same damn time? I'd never been so high in my frickin' life. No marijuana, no frickin' anything. It was only by that point, only marijuana I'd frickin' done at 18. And yeah, I'd gone and frickin' come out and I'd done that. Or no, I went home and I was frickin' trying to recover and whatnot, and then my brother went and frickin' hurt himself some damn way. And so me and my mom and my brother, we go to the emergency room, and frickin' it's completely packed, and I'm frickin' out here, two T3s, and frickin' I'm smiling my damn head off. I'm looking at everybody around there, frickin' trying to frickin' rein myself back to not talk to everybody in the room because I'm so happy. I'm so completely out of my mind. I mean, frick, if I was like I was back to frickin' 6 years old again. I was damn near trying to frickin' stand up on my chair and start dancing for them people because I wanted them to be happy, you know. And once those, I felt them more wearing off in the frickin' emergency place, and I was like, Mom, I'm not taking another one. I left it for about 30 minutes and I felt it wear off, and it just felt like I'd been, mercilessly beaten in the face or whatever. I mean, that's never happened to me, but trust me, it wasn't that freaking bad. It legit. I was just like, oh, this hurts or whatever, but I'm not crying out in pain. I'm not like gouging my freaking face off. But yeah, so I said to my mom, I'm not doing it again. You can't freaking make me. And she was like, please just take one freaking T3. And I was like, no, you can't freaking make me. Chase me. And yeah, I come back home and I'm like, it doesn't hurt. I'll take the antibiotics, but it doesn't freaking hurt. And this guy had just assumed, and even before the surgery, he was like, here you go, here's a freaking Ativan. Because he asked me, do you normally get, nervous over these freaking things? And I was like, never done surgery before, so probably you can freaking count on that. He gave me a damn Ativan. I've never had Ativan in my life. I've only done, by that point, weed and 5-HTP. And I swear by that 5-HTP. You get depressed, try that stuff. It is so freaking It is on budget, and it tastes delicious. And you know, it's you can just freaking get it. Yeah, so don't do depression meds anyway. Um, these freaking things I just wrote down for the broken arm piece that you only freaking need, your history of all these sorts of things, and I kept wondering as I do over these things. This one's for the gynecologists, for them blind people that are just kind of halfway watching this or whatever. Yeah, so pretty much all the same thing for this, but yeah, I was looking through these and I was like, they're really telling us that we get to decide what is relevant? What if every trans person tells the government that they don't think any of this is relevant, just the pronouns, And some people are gonna troll the system like that, which is wrong. It's morally corrupt to do that, but that won't stop people because people are just sometimes kind of fricked in the head. And it should really be up to frickin' doctors to do this medical stuff. But being that it's being that it has to do with this being a trans people frickin' place that's uh they're for the trans people, so they have to logically look woke as possible, or else some 14-year-old's gonna diss them on TikTok with frickin' cat self pronoun and bio. I wish I could frickin' go off on this in a more structured manner. It's just I want to collab with people. I just don't know how the hell you do that. I assume they reach out to you, but I think it's kind of like friends hanging out with friends. They don't do that anymore. You have to, you practically have to frickin' I don't know. I can't. I don't think I can say it in this video, but I feel like you have to for it. To get somebody frickin' either hang out or frickin' get you to be in the damn YouTube video with you. So this part here, this was even more confusing than the first frickin' question. Which of your health information are relevant for learning about health inequities, which, fun fact, wasn't a frickin' word until 2 years ago, in the BC population, frickin'. And then they go off about aggregate data, which what? That confuses it even frickin' further. And I had no shots when I was looking at this the first frickin' time. So it's not that. It was not even frickin' 1 a.m. yet. And I'm still confused about this damn question. And it's 1 a.m. now, This, how do I tell you what is relevant to frickin' put me with some other damn people? What? I already answered the frickin' real early on question about, what the hell I am, which included a bunch of fake identities that never frickin' existed until 2015. Fun fact, gender fluid, yeah, didn't exist until 2012. And somebody put that on there, and you can look this person up. She does not have a valid Wikipedia article. Not a real person, actually. Couldn't prove it. Not on fricking Wikipedia. So, yeah, anyway. So then they said, feel free to share your story. And at first, as I do with all frickin' quizzes, I'm like, oh, everything has been good so far, haven't had a whole lot of bad experiences. But then I was like, hold up, wait a frickin' minute. Why the hell I got this wig on my head? So I wrote down, nobody told me I had a 2/3 chance of losing my hair on testosterone. Nobody at all. I would like to have known the facts about this and what I could do about it. Instead of teenagers on the internet telling me about this and reassuring each other that there was no real risk, and then years later, it's a real situation I have to deal with and do my own research on medications about. Again, on the internet, where I'm exposed to mainly teenage opinions, misinformation, instead of the doctor frickin' having told me a fact about my biology, or one of the people in the frickin' trans group, right? Which let's be honest, it's not LGBT anymore. It's literally just they have a saying on 4chan slash LGBT. It's not LGBT anymore. It's just TTTT, which is a 4chan joke that you can put anywhere. It's very PG, which is unlike the rest. So yeah, to not tell anybody about this inherently misinformation. Yeah. So honestly, they need to do at least one study on this. And I know that doesn't pertain to this whole freaking thing, but Yeah. Why don't people just frickin' tell each other what the hell's actually gonna go on, you know? It's like lying about the fact that the voice change is permanent, you know? If you, as a female, do frickin' testosterone, not only does, what is it, 2 to 5% of it get converted into DHT, which makes your face look frickin' old and makes, you know, your hair effed up and maybe something else. But yeah, you know, the menopausal, damn it. Yeah, not only does it convert to DHT, but you're also freaking going through menopause, and everybody knows that menopause, it makes your hair fall out. I think by 50% of women that go through that, but you know that's menopausal women includes freaking chicks from ages 40 to freaking 80. So basically, most people don't die with their hairline intact. So yeah. Anyway, so you got two different freaking situations here, both of which result in losing hair. Yeah. And fun fact, a doctor could frickin' make way damn more money off of referring a person to a frickin' wig specialist than they could lying about that you're not gonna frickin' get a hairline like this. This has been oiled up, so it looks really bad. Plus the glare, but I mean, frick, you can see the wrinkles developing in my forehead. And that's probably not due to frickin' DHT or anything. That's because of the fact that I pull up in the damn mirror every frickin' day going like this. Going like, how's my hairline? Do I have any new ones? Do I? Today, maybe? Frickin' tomorrow? And this isn't a problem that resolves itself, right? This is a problem you have to frickin', you know, I want to make a whole video going into this, but I have done various frickin' things. Some things have worked, but I haven't tried them extensively, and I'm gonna leave it at that to keep more frickin' mystery, even though I've spoiled mystery on every other damn opinion I have. uh, but yeah, yeah, I want to do the. I don't know what the hell to write for this question. They're like, oh, what the hell, about your preference and whatnot. I already answered so many damn questions. It's all I can frickin' say is it's woke. But yeah, this part here, who should determine this stuff? Who do you as the they didn't give an age frickin' cap or limit or amount that you have to be in the survey. There's no check the box if you're 13, check the box if you're 12. And I know that damn near frickin' the people that I know people that frickin' been sending this survey around, not all of age. Yeah, so they're asking frickin' anybody under the damn sun who should determine frickin' care. Yeah, it should totally frickin' be just random gay people and whatnot. But I check the box because let's be honest, sometimes a person has to advocate for themselves, but it's not about that you need to make things woke. It's that you have to speak up in the moment, which is not even. It's not about having that on a box. It's not about having that in the regulations. It's not about governmentalizing fricking every damn thing. So I'm just gonna uncheck that box because yeah, it should definitely be me, and I want that to be fricking known that I should advocate for myself if I fricking need to. In the case of what I'm doing right now, talking about my fricking hair loss in front of hopefully more than one person is gonna view this other than me. And yeah, so I don't know. I didn't read this. I was freaking shot deep and freaking, buzzing because I had freaking anxiety knowing I was going to film this part. But I don't know. Frick. I don't even know what the hell these things are. Researchers? What the hell is that? How the hell I'm supposed to freaking know as a guy who's never met a freaking researcher what to do, whether a researcher should determine I don't know what, frick, whatever, man. If they're making the surveys, that's what they should write here. Is that it's the people doing the damn surveys? But I don't fricking know, man. Legit, I don't know. I could check all these fricking boxes, and in my opinion, it should matter, but it's small. Here's our demographic. Yeah, see, there you go. What is your age for the demographics? Under 18. Why are we letting under 18 people under 18 people that can't even frickin' drive yet? This doesn't have, a maximum underage, right? It doesn't say you have to be two to do this. There could be toddlers frickin' making this survey, you know? And why the hell is that we're living in an age where under 18s can decide what they think frickin' 70 plus years old should frickin' be doing, in terms of all this wokeness. It's about, it's not about pronouns, it's about frickin' living your damn life. That's what transitioning is about, you know? So that's me, 19 to 29, about the age that you frickin' drop off of, being wild as hell. I'm not telling nobody my damn location. Uh, I am not native. I wish I frickin' was. Native people are so gangster and epic, and I've never really met a whole lot of them I didn't like. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's not me trying to virtue signal. I just frickin' like native people, and their music is so damn good. I am not being paid by native people to say this. I just love them. Are you a racialized person? Like, bro, do I have a race? I would hope so. They're getting so damn weird with these definitions, man. They have the gall to say, "Are you a racialized person? A person with run-ins with the race, as if the race is the frickin' law." And the damn, and then they got a normal one that's like, are you disabled?" And then it's like, do you have mental health conditions? I sure hope that that's gonna help people frickin', make sure that there's a correlation with the woke because it's proven. I don't know who the hell did this survey, but the far left, specifically the far left, somebody told me in an actual real frickin' documented YouTube video, they told me that it's 50% of the far left is mentally ill. And that mental illness could be anything. I'm not talking just, oh, sometimes I see a ghost. I'm not talking, sometimes I don't know where the hell my water went or frickin' whatever, because they have a neurodivergent one here too, which, to get more frickin' woke, because I'm so on the hot button of these issues, they say that frickin' autistic people don't like neurodivergent being used for frickin' all the other ones, when in reality, I know a lot of people that got ADHD and dyslexia at the same time, and frickin', sometimes it correlates like that. And people say that, I had a friend once try to convince me that I was autistic, right? She frickin' homie's like, oh, frickin', we're not homies now, but homie was like, oh, you're definitely frickin' autistic because you like fidget spinners and whatnot, and I'm like, no, no, and the homie's like, yeah, you are, and I'm like, dog, I downloaded a free app on my phone, and I spent $25 on a couple fidget spinners. Now tell me how the hell that qualifies me for a disorder. And yeah, people say I have them sorts of freaking traits and whatnot, but anyways, that was freaking irrelevant. Did you recently arrive in Canada? Yeah, I genuinely a person who has had a struggle of actually having to immigrate or refugee to Canada is not going to think that wokeness is a priority. So that's going to be a good 2% of the survey. Um, yeah, it annoys me that people are freaking, you know, hold up. I just got to answer these questions so I can move on to the next page and make fun of it more. Do you have mental health conditions? How the hell do I frickin', even say one way or the other? Because it's all been situational. Am I crazy? Only when I'm frickin' crossfaded. Let me say, undiagnosed mental health No, I'm not gonna do that. It's situational. Let's be honest. I'm not mentally ill. I'm just unemployed. Are you neurodivergent? No. Don't check enough boxes for that one. I'm just too gangster to live, and I flap my hand a lot. That's it. Didn't recently immigrate, which to be woke, they should put refugees in there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know my way around here. You know, woke people try to play with me all the frickin' time about this stuff, but they don't know what the hell they've been up against. I've been frickin' woke since 2013 or 14. I believe things that I genuinely don't believe now. I believe things written down by people that I no longer respect. You know, I've grown as a person. You can't frickin' joke with somebody like that. Please let us know what you think of the following added safeguards to strengthen the proposed health frickin' for the gays. Uh, yeah. Also, I just want to mention, yeah, the two, gangster. That's the native thing. So that's their culture. We can have that. People make fun of the two. They're dickheads. Don't believe them. Frick. Uh, how the hell I'm supposed to know about security requirements for the healthcare system? I ain't never been a nurse. There was no box to even check whether you're a frickin' nurse or not, you know? I don't know. Perhaps. Uh, I don't even know what the hell an audit is. I'm 24 years old. I don't know what the hell an audit is. Mm, why the hell would it cost to transfer your health records? How heavy are these frickin' health records, really? Is it 500 pages long? How many people frickin', go down the damn list? My neck, my back, my P word, and my crack, etc. Bruh. I don't know what the hell that means. Perhaps. I don't know. Because chronically ill people, I guess that's their question. I don't know. Some of these questions are just not something I'm able to fricking answer, right? These questions, some of them are beyond me. You want a chronically ill person to know about the hospital stuff. And I know they're going to be all over this, and I hope they do the right fricking thing with it. You know, instead of pushing an agenda, just, talking about things that are actually freaking good to have in the healthcare system. Uh, I don't even know what the hell that means. What? They don't even have a place to freaking click about this. They should have a link for this so that I actually know what the hell I'm agreeing to. I don't know. Not sure. Uh, I just don't know why they would even need the sexual orientation information. I mean, it's been proven that that is freaking, we used to say gayist when we forgot the damn name for homophobic. And so that right there is gayist to even have someone's, a gay man. They used to be freaking, quite rude to gay men by saying to them, "Hey, you're not allowed to donate blood if you're gay in case you get HIV." Which at the time, I agree with. That was before my time. I don't know what the hell it was like, but apparently it was just living hell for anybody. It was all freaking, big freedom, no condom, People were screwing with freaking their and everybody else's freaking lives. These people were doing evil, pure freaking evil, not wrapping it before they freaking go and do that. And so, yeah, they used to be, but now I don't think it's that necessary. I think they just have to mandate an HIV test no matter who the hell or what the hell you are. They should just do that before you donate blood. But if it is like that for people that are gay, I even freaking know a long time uh, activist, somebody who's actually freaking old, who said that, who was so proud of the Canadian government for taking the gay man can't donate blood thing off the, apparently that's been undone from the law or whatever, and now they're trying to bring it back again so you can frickin' write, virtue signal to your doctor about how open-minded you are sexually. Your doctor does not need to know unless it includes, whips and chains, and that's the damn reason for you covered in bruises. That's what they need to freaking know about, and maybe not if it's not relevant. It's so multi freaking layered. Here we freaking go again with another long question that makes no damn sense. What does this even mean? What are the standards of confidentiality and privacy? I'm not able to read the terms and conditions on here. So I'm supposed to provide guidance to the institutions, I guess. I don't know. I I don't know. No. No, let's just say no because I advocate for other people advocating for themselves. Stand up for yourself. Don't be, another man's I can't say it on here, but or woman if your doctor's a freaking woman. And you're never going to see a doctor that, fakes a gender. That's just not it. That's going to be a mental health professional only. Uh these sorts of things, I don't know, somewhat needed. Because let's be honest, we gotta frickin' teach doctors about trans things. They never know where to point you in terms of it. I went to a doctor once and I was like, I am going to probably transition to male. And he's like, okay, boomer, what the hell do I do with this? I don't do that. Like, I'm literally an old man that immigrated here from a foreign country, frickin' where you probably can't even transition and you probably have to buy your needles off the internet like a damn third world type BS. And it wasn't America. I know they do that in America, but it wasn't it. He didn't know where to put me, so they should be able to have a Rolodex of people's numbers to put it. Uh, Regular communications, aka frickin' woke bulletins every I don't know. What the hell? If there's a study, people need to know about it. So, yes, I guess. Uh, Relevant and appropriate uses. Yeah, well, here's the thing. They're all relevant and appropriate if it's a legal document. Frickin' I don't know. I just don't see how this is. How is this sensitive information when you're literally going to the frickin' hospital with a broken arm? I, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's not my question. I don't know. I want to rate stop being woke there, but I feel like that would just be rude. I don't know what the hell to do here. Uh, and that's the thing. That's another freaking thing, right? The whole woke people freaking being pushed to say that they wish they transitioned earlier. Now I can't speak for trans women because I feel like that's who this question is actually for. And but when it comes to transitioning to male, you can do that pretty much any freaking time. If you do it in your 30s, you're not going to look real. That's just a fact. But when it frickin' comes to all the other ages that you can do it at, oh man, dude, I did 7 years of research before I transitioned. Well, oh, that doesn't add up. Whatever. I was frickin' I was 20 by the time I transitioned. I was frickin' 19, 20. I was just turning 20. And yeah, yeah, do your freaking research. Do at least a couple of years of research. If you think you're gonna freaking, or you know somebody that you think is trying to transition, just holy frick, man. Get them to do some damn research and get to know old trans people. and not the type of ones that want to push that on somebody because they think it's so cool that they finally met a frickin' 12-year-old trans person, you know? Get that homie connected with their frickin' family. Get them connected with themselves. Send them to the frickin', you know, not the ranch, because that's obviously been convicted of frickin' mad abuse. Don't send them to anywhere in Utah. I swear, if you do that, I will hunt you down. Um, but yeah, you know, connect the homie with nature, frickin' people, friends, etc. Because that's what a lot of these people are looking for when they go into this community of online people trying to break one another from the reality. Ooh, yo, frick! I get to choose out of getting a 1 out of 10 $50 gift certificate. I will wiggle my tongue on that. I won one of those before and they gave me frickin' a bunch of money to chapters that I don't know frickin' it's in a different email or something and I ended up getting frickin' expensive things from chapters. One of them wasn't really worth it, but you know, when it comes down to it, yar. Not gonna lie, I would watch this, but it would piss me off. That's the thing about these woke things. I want to grift. I want to make a change and frickin' challenge people's beliefs, but oh man, does it frickin' rile me up like nothing else. I don't know. Let's see if I'm doing nothing on that day. Do we really have another page of this? Really? It's always about improvements, right? Always. Final thoughts. Oh man. Final thoughts is frickin' frick. Wish I'd used this to work on frickin' videos before. That's what my final thought is. This turned out great. This is one of my few live streams that actually frickin' worked. Actually had a function to it, you know? And nobody hopped on, which literally doesn't frickin' matter to me. I don't care. I'm getting 400 subscribers at some point, you know? I am as happy as could be. No joke. An animal could literally squeak right now. It causes me anxiety when frickin' people hop on there anyway. I mean, I don't know who the hell it is that always hops on then hops off, if it's a random person or if it's somebody I know, but nobody ever comments, you know? I don't. I have never seen a comment on the live. Do you have any final thoughts or suggestion on the proposed framework? That is my opinion. You can contest it, you can be mad about it, but you cannot frickin' refute that that's my opinion. You cannot take that from me. Your response has been recorded. You damn right it has. It's been recorded twice. Everybody gonna know about this. Yeah, so that's the end of the survey. I hope that was freaking good and fun and wiggly and had animal noises in it and whatnot. And trust me, if I could have brought a guinea pig into the back of this video so that it would be more light and fluffy and I could pet it and let it wiggle its tongue and whatnot, that would have been gangster and would probably have helped some people out or whatever. But yeah, I just want to call attention to this again. I don't know if I did before, but this is my last 90 days. Holy frick. Here it literally is. I've never had this much. This is literally 108% more. And I think it's the hair loss content. I never knew that hair loss content was so freaking big, but as I got into watching it, It was all about the women, never the frickin' men. Never. Men are so forgotten in this conversation where this is, you know, always what they fricking. It's a men's issue, right? It's a whole freaking men's issue that, oh man, somebody was just on and then they left. Animal, you gotta be announcing yo animal presence. Frick. Say something, I'm giving up on you, animal. Frick. But yeah, I can't believe I took that 1 minute to talk about frickin' to talk about hair loss stuff instead of, making sure whether I had one person on here or not. Anyway. Oh, somebody just subscribed. Holy frick, was that the creature? Was that the creature wiggling its tongue? But yeah, yeah, it's the hair loss thing. It's a men's whole freaking thing, and it could be an industry if they damn actually advertised freaking anywhere, about any damn near thing that you could freaking do. Because before I lost my hair, and it's not that much of a loss. I still have my hair, it's just not as much. It's just not the hairline. So I tell people, you know, I point out an old man and I'm like, I wish I had his hairline. It's kind of the joke with me and frickin' Greg or whatever, whoever's around me. But yeah, it it's something I want to get more into. I want to talk about this more. There's not much to talk about, but I want to be talking about it. We have to frickin' be vocal about not only, trans stuff and woke stuff and the fact that there's not a third gender that everybody lies about, but also that that the hair loss thing, and the fact that those are freaking tied. No one ever told me that. I thought it was just kids on the internet being paranoid, and I can't say that more, you know. I can't say that more than it's already freaking been said. And it would really, yeah, I don't know. It behooves every sort of creature that be watching any form of freaking anything to, discuss it with real people in your real life and try to change, minds, but not while being a dick. Don't scream at people, don't yell at people. Just send a couple facts their way. Tell them about the Tavistock numbers, and then tell them how they went down. Tell them how it took 10 years to get from here, 0.3% of the population, all the way to bam, what the hell percentage is this is the population? And why the hell the girl graph go up here and yet the boy graph go up here? Why is that? Why is that? Is that because, perhaps and that's saying girl and boy as in the original sex that they were, which is an important clarification, right? And yeah, we have to stop socializing women to fricking be on social media all the damn time. Don't normalize that. Tell women to get the hell off of there. Tell men to get the hell off of there. Just everybody, let's take a step back. Don't fricking go and, be more present on that than you need to, because these issues are only pressing when you can sign a petition. Any issue that you see online, you know? Anyway, yeah. My mouth is really dry. It's 2 a.m. I'm tired. I really should go to bed because I'm just running out of energy. And I genuinely hope that somebody out there enjoyed listening to me talk about this, now or in the future or frickin' whenever. I really just want this message out. I want to tell the frickin' truth, you know, and my truth, not everybody else's frickin' truth, because I don't speak for other people, and I never will frickin' claim, that anybody should do that, because that's yet another woke doctrine I was frickin' force fed, like the baby they want you to be. And yeah, just go about your life, you know, just take a deep breath, do some peace, and do some damn understanding. Actually wiggle your tongue. Don't piss people the hell off. And yeah, if a person has pronouns, just stop referring to them. That's what I do. Anyway, wiggle your tongue, animals. Hopefully, I can end this the normal way that I